So take me through the process of, first off, insulation and also the process of a new home, of how it's built.
So insulation is the last thing that goes in before drywall. Drywall is one of the major milestones in the construction of a house.
Right.
So we come in after the electrical and after the plumbing have passed, because our material is going to cover that up. And right now, the biggest challenge that we're having is material availability, and that's impacting every phase of new home construction.
Wow.
So not only are we seeing shortages of material and longer than normal lead times, but there are price accelerations that are happening that are unprecedented. And now with the price of gas going to where it is, we're going to see that increase, because all these materials have to be shipped.
Right.
From different parts of the country.
They have to fill that gap.
To Las Vegas, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think, too, you look at a lot of people are looking at the fact that inflation's a big problem. We don't have availability of goods and things like that. Yeah. So it's really having an impact across the board on everything. It has inward pressure on builders to, get things done in a timely fashion, which they look like they can't. They keep extending out their time to close the transaction. It used to be, hey, it's 6 months, 8 months. We're talking year plus.
And there's another factor, and that is the shortage of skilled labor. So during the recession, you essentially had an entire generation of skilled tradesmen age out of the trades, with nobody being trained to come up behind them. And so it's very difficult to find labor right now.
That's actually really interesting, because we talk about that, but that's an interesting way of putting it, because I come from a background, all the men in my life were in construction. That's why they came to Las Vegas, because it was booming. Left California, but it's right. When they were at that age, when the recession hit, they just left. Yeah. They were done. So that's actually, I've never heard that, but it makes sense. It makes sense that, they've aged out. Now they don't have the workers, and you have to have those people to bring them in, train them, get them excited about it, and then they make it a lifelong career.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. You get a lot of these people that they're online, right? And they're like seeing these YouTube channels, and, they're doom and gloom, and it's going to crash. And, I don't know if it's going to crash. I do feel that we could hit a recession. There's things out there that has some indicators that we may go into a slight pullback. I mean, look, you got the Fed pulling back on the as far as purchasing bonds, treasuries. They raised the Fed's fund rate. They're going to do that potentially another, 6 times, I believe, this year, 11 times over the next 2 years. So, I mean, this is indicators that we have a hot economy. And we're really going into a place where, when you have low unemployment and you have a hot economy, how do you slow that thing down, right? And I think the Fed wants to control 2 things, is have maximum employment, and also they want to have the ability to control inflation and have it at that 2% rate.
Right.
I just don't see, with this new home process of where things are at, that we're going in the right direction at this time. I mean, do you feel like this is going to stop at any point where you're going to start to say, okay, builders are starting to get the materials, they're starting to get back on track, everything's going good? I mean, what do you think?
As you know, it's all supply and demand. And so the key factor is how many months worth of inventory do we have in housing that is available. And as construction is delayed, obviously that reduces the number of homes that are in inventory. I think that what is likely going to happen is that when the interest rates go up, that'll...
Well, they're going up. Yeah, they're going up. Yeah, they're going up right now. I mean, you look at where we're at now. We just pushed through. We blasted through 4%.
Sure.
We're above 4%, and you're like, well, what are you doing? What are we going to do to fix this, right? Well, the only thing that the Fed can really do is try to slow the economy down.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that when you have maximum, you have economic data that shows that you're really thriving. You have job unemployment is real low. Everybody seems like employment is becoming really strong here in the last few months. So what do you slow it down with? You slow it down by raising the rates, how they do that, and everybody's like, well,
the only thing they can do.
Yeah, it's the only thing they can really do. So I think there's a balancing act that if one thing's pulled too far one direction, this thing could go sideways.